So it's just this one, is it? Just this one. It's just this one.
Good afternoon, everybody. I can't believe by just saying good afternoon, everybody's gone quiet. I can't get that in my own house, really. So thank you so much. If everybody's out here, that'd be great. So as soon as I can finish this, as soon as you can eat, and as soon as you can go home. So well, Lord Lieutenant, Deputy Lieutenant, Lord Lieutenant, sorry, Deputy Lord Lieutenant, mayors, chairs, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. As the High Sheriff of Surrey, it is my real pleasure to have you attend the garden party. Slightly different to the normal garden party you might have attended, but it's that sport is a big part of my life, and having it Sunbury Cricket Club is great. And I want to really thank everybody who's made the attempt to come over here across the country as well, not just Surrey. We've got people from Hampshire, because I do run a football club in Hampshire, so so we're merging the two counties together today. The council didn't know that, but thank you. I really want to say thank you to Caroline and Alison, who have helped me to put this together. I'm standing here taking all the glory, but it's their work they've done there. Caroline, all of you who know her, had a knee replacement, so she's not out and about today. But so if it all goes well, it's thanks to me. If it goes all wrong, it's down to them too. So so hopefully you'll have a good time and probably play a bit of cricket. I want to also thank the police cadets out there who are actually helping with all the logistics and parking. Thank you so much for the Surrey Police Cadet, and particularly my own cadet, wherever he is. Kieran, thank you. I also got, because it's a sports theme, I've got lots of people from the National Football Club, and some people travel from up north, including Oldham. So thank you, Darryl, for coming over from Oldham, and I've got Nabila from almost not involved in football, but as an independent director from Solihull. So thank you for making the trip all the way down here. And to the business communities and charities and local authorities, you're all here because you've done such a great work within the community, and particularly with my role as chair of Aldershire Football Club. I'm really looking today and we'll go a bit more details about Surplus Suffer, but this is opportunity to roll out this initiative in Rushmore, and that's going to be the next, hopefully. I'll get Andrew to talk a bit more about it in a minute, but this initiative is great, and I'll tell you a bit more about why we had this garden party here. So just a few personal thank you. There is a team that I hosted this morning, a team from National University of Science and Technology from Pakistan. So they came over from Pakistan to race. They developed their own car to race at Silverstone last 2 days, and today we're really honoured that McLaren hosted them for most of the morning today and showing what was going around. So thank you for coming down. Thank you for what you've done. And they're just walking around at the back there, and I'm going to have a little chat with them in a minute. But thank you for coming all the way from Pakistan. So thank you. Clearly supported by the Economic Minister, Dr. Samina Zahir, here with a friend from Sabila from Cambridge University. So thank you for all coming from there. And you heard the choir, the Include choir. What a wonderful, thank you for so much for coming. Thank you for performing so well. And I know you're going to carry on after once I finish the speech. So soon I get off again, food and music will start. So thank you. Finally, why are we here instead of another garden party somewhere else? His Royal Highness Prince of Wales, Prince William, visited surplus to supper about 4 months ago, and then I had a call to come and visit this wonderful initiative they were doing and understand how we can use sports clubs, football clubs, cricket clubs to actually, because they hub the communities, how we can help them to serve the community. So when I came here, I met Andrew and Claire, and I'm going to get them on in a minute on the stage, but it was just, it really made my mind up that we're going to have our garden party here. So that was one of the reasons, and it had a huge impact on why about food waste. And suddenly, and most people might not know this, but I was a High Sheriff in 2021. I became a High Sheriff the day the lockdown started. So I was installed on the day of the lockdown. But what I saw with the Lord Lieutenant and visiting other people was the food waste and the food banks and how the communities got together. So that's 3-4 years ago. Now sounds a long time ago, but that is actually what really is what this surplus supper is about. So so before I bring Claire on, so everything you see here today, the flowers, the fruit, the drinks, the sandwiches, the cakes, everything that's in here today, believe it or not, was going to end up in wasteland. It's going to be landfill sites. We've got all that food that you're eating is going to end up in landfill. So the amount of food we waste, and then there's this bridge between hunger and poverty and food waste. This surplus supper does bring that together. So as I say, I'm not going to do this charity that justice. That's what I'm going to get in a minute on there. And it's a good time as any to bring Claire, who will tell you what this fantastic initiative is. Claire.
I promise you I'll be brief because I could talk about surplus food forever. But Surplus Supper was set up in 2017, initially as a fundraising entity to support the food bank that I'd taken on locally in the area. And we couldn't get the support in 2016-17 that we understand and know about now. And there was so much surplus food in one of the local supermarkets. There was 42 boxes of food. And we couldn't understand, we couldn't get the food bank supported, and there was just an excess amount of food. The fundraiser came and we made some money for the food bank, and then we decided in 2019 that there was a space for this in the area, and we started to collect surplus food that would otherwise head to landfill and use it to support initially some food banks and some food hubs, and then a few more charities and a few breakfast clubs. And here we are now today with 5 vans that operate 7 days a week with something like 400 plus collections a week at the moment, 270 volunteers, 5 members of staff, collecting around 3 to 4 tonne of food a day. And then we are supporting over 150 local charities in Surrey, on the tips of West London because of where we're based. And we know that we're only just scratching the surface, and we know that there's a lot more to do. You've probably heard, and obviously even on the news this morning, there was the Felix Project, which have similar kind of values and basis, and they operate in London. But Surrey, although there's just been a Fair Share head office opened in Guildford, Surrey is really poorly represented and really poorly looked after with regards to the food and the support. Here in Spelthorne, we've also been really working with all the local food banks, which are all here today in the Spelthorne food banks, working on a Food and Spelthorne network, really working smarter and more cohesively together to really make a bigger impact. And the data isn't completely verified, but there are just over 100,000 residents in Spelthorne. And we believe, with the data that we're receiving in, that we could declare that nearly half of the residents in Spelthorne last week accessed or had some kind of surplus food, whether it be via a meal, via a cake, via fruit, in the impacts because of the amount of places that we support, the amount of breakfast clubs and community centres, etc., plus the food banks and the huge reach that our food hubs have here in Spelthorne. So the vision is to collect food that would otherwise head to landfill for free, so that we can take away some of those costings and then hand that over to local charities. And it could be a small breakfast club or a small lunch club that maybe has 30 or 40 people, that their costings are a bit of fruit and some cake and a few sandwiches. We have it. And then we collect it and we drop it off to the people there, and it allows the people on the front line in the charity to not have to do shopping, to be able to have pull some of their budgets, and then to be able to reinvest that back into their charity. So for us, it's an ongoing thing. But we were challenged. We decided that we'd ask the Palace if it was something they'd even consider a surplus garden party, and we're so grateful that you've been able to acknowledge that. But I have to reiterate, everything, the fruit, the cordial, the juices, every single thing that you are going to eat today should be in landfill. And the injustice of the fact that there is, huge disposal costs for people, and then obviously people are trying to move food and do that. So we are here to bridge the gap between food waste and food poverty. We thank you that you've been here today, and we really are up for all the conversations. Please find the people within the Food and Spelthorne network. Please find some of the surplus guys, and please ask and chat, and we'd love to tell you more. I will get off and carry on, but thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Claire. What she didn't also tell you, that if you're involved in cricket, you have to do cricket teas. Well, Sunbury Cricket Club has won the best teas in this area for God knows how long, so I know the challenge of making teas, so thank you, Claire. Can I invite the co-founder, or the founder, Andrew Osborne, please, to... Oh, there you are, sorry, Anne.
Oh, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
Good.
Too many white people, I can't even recognise them all, mate. You know what I mean? So, you've got to stick with my family over there, I'll know who you are.
No,
So,
I've got a bit of a tan.
yeah, no, I know, it's hot there. So, Andrew, thank you very much. Look, can I just...
Well, one thing I just want to say, we normally say that about the surplus food after you've eaten. I remember the first dinner, it's actually wonderful, but I remember the first dinner we did in 2017 when it was the first fundraising initiative, and we had a Michelin-starred chef using the surplus food for 150 fine dining people, raising a lot of money with an auction of sporting goods and everything else. And after the meal, I announced that total bill for our food was £21.60, which included a bit of spices, and then they were absolutely amazed. So it's the impact that kind of thing happen, that happens when you announce something that they've just eaten, and it's absolutely wonderful. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with the food, I can tell you that.
Thank you. So can you just give us a bit of brief history of how you got this event, this surplus started, and the vision, and where we are now, and where you think we could go forward, and what the business model is that we could that could actually, the sport clubs and communities make a real difference.
Well, it was 8 years ago. I walked into a food bank in Sunbury, in Vicarage Road. I was already running a charity, taking people to hospital, a good neighbour scheme. And I wanted to donate some money. Now, 8 years later, I didn't leave, and this is what happened. So in those days, in 2015, 2016, it was all ambient food. But around that time, Tesco and the government came up with this idea of fair share. So there were a lot of moves around to take the surplus food when it was fresh. So that created a huge amount of problems for the food banks, because obviously they were getting this fresh food and they had to get it out on the day because it was on date, or it's just fresh food. So we raised a lot of money to buy fridges and freezers for the food banks, so they were able to store it, and then they can use it over a monthly period to cook meals. And so that was the way forward to have a more long life of the surplus food. And during this time, we also realised that the logistics of this moving food, they were moving food, picking up from Tesco's in Sunbury, taking it over to a warehouse in East London, and then delivering it back to the food bank next door. So it's all very well taking the food out of landfill and for the eco benefit there, but if you're going to drive it across London several times and round around the M25, it rather negates the thing. So what we're all about is local food, local people in volunteers and local businesses supporting. So wherever we go, whatever we do, we will always be local. We'll be set up to work in a 5 to 10 mile radius. So that's the business model. But the other problem, of course, was how to finance this thing, because I have a few generous friends, and that was good. But we also came up with a business model that could monetize some of the food. We started with the one van, the one member of staff, Claire, and about 20 volunteers. But we needed to raise some money, so we signed a deal with the cricket club to become the supplier to their cafe. So we opened the cafe, but of course it was lockdown by the time we started in April 2020. But we also used the food to host events here and weddings outside. So we have dinners, we have lunches, we have the MCC down here for lunch, and we using the surplus food. So that raises money for the charity. We also have a market out the front and a shop. So all of these things are probably all together, I'd say around 60% of our money comes from self-finance. So that's a fairly unique model. So it's a kind of matching business with charitable aims, and that's a big thing for me, because you can't always keep having your hand out for money or donations. So and I think there was, after about 18 months, I think the local council came and said, well, you're supplying 80% of our food banks in the area. Who are you? So anyway, we got a grant after that. But my point is that you don't get the grants at the beginning. So what I want to give that business model to other areas who struggle to make money immediately, and I think this is a way of doing it. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I forgot the other question.
No, that was about the model, how you take this forward and replicate it with a license, not a cost of a license, but a license model.
Yeah. Well, yes. I mean, so the idea is we don't want to become a big charity or big conglomerate like FareShare with huge amounts of staff, and I'm not paid, obviously, and none of my trustees are paid, who are ex-business people. But we also want to share the knowledge that we've accumulated, a lot of mistakes, obviously, but a lot of successes over the last 4 or 5 years. So we're creating a business plan at the moment for a systematic rollout, but it's not a rollout that we're going to dictate. This is purely a reactive model, that where there is need and there is nobody servicing that need, like there's not a FareShare or a Felix or a City Harvest, we will give the whatever food bank in the area who know the area. So I'm not going to come in and say in Oldham, I know what's needed in Oldham. We will ask the people in Oldham to come to us and say we need this business model. And we will give all the whatever, it's probably on one of your apps by now, but we've got onboarding and everything else, but it has to be done in a structured way, because we're not going to go in and compete. We're not a business, although we have business leanings. We're not a business, so we're not going to go and compete with what was already there. We're going to ask what you need. We're not. I always say we're not market makers, we are a solution provider. So we have the solution if you have a problem in your market. So
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Andrew. So that just leads me to conclude just a couple of things. First of all, thank you so much to the volunteers at the Surplus Food Supper who've been fantastic supporting this event. When I first came here, I met the chef, and his name is Mario, and I said, where are you from? He said, I left Seychelles to come to Sunbury. I mean, I can't believe. I said, well, you must be mad. He said, no, I want to be a chef. So he's working in the back cooking. So thank you, Mario, and the team. So thank you so much for Surplus Supper for hosting us today. Just a final personal one. I just seen our chairman from the National League, Jack Pearce, who forever tells me off going into boardrooms, meetings without a tie. Jack, this is what I normally wear in Surrey every day, mate. So don't have a go. I'll get a matching shirt next time. Thank you. Look, thank you so much. Enjoy the day. Got to eat all the food. Got to drink all the drinks, and take away the flowers and any other things. So thank you so much for coming today. Thank you.